My youngest daughter was cornered at a market by 6 strangers screaming at her for not being a good Christian sister. They called her selfish. They called me wicked. All because we refused to let my dead, cheating ex's parents bulldoze our lives. They thought church would protect them. So I brought church, the truth. If you've ever been blamed for someone else's mess or watched a manipulator hide behind religion, stick around, because this is a story about betrayal, guilt-tripping, and the kind of revenge that tears fake halos right off. Like, subscribe, and let justice begin. My name is Rachel. I'm 46, a single mother of 2 amazing daughters, Emily, 17, and Sophie, 15. Their father, my ex-husband, passed away last year in a tragic car accident. But what died that day wasn't just a man. It was a carefully maintained lie. Because in that wreck, alongside him, was the woman he'd been having an affair with. And together, they left behind 2 young boys. Children my girls never knew existed until weeks before he died. You see, Emily and Sophie were the ones who uncovered his secret life. They'd seen the texts, caught the whispers, noticed the time he couldn't account for. They came to me with trembling hands and broken voices, and we began the divorce process. And then, before anything could finalize, he died. Just like that. But the grief we should have been allowed to feel was immediately hijacked by his parents, my ex-in-laws, Harold and Evelyn. They came storming into our lives, demanding custody of my daughters, demanding to move in with us. And when I refused, when I dared to say no, they declared war. It started with snide remarks, then manipulative voicemails, then the guilt-tripping. "You're leaving us with nothing," Evelyn sobbed once. "Those boys have no one." As if that was my burden, as if that was my daughter's responsibility. The market incident. Fast forward to Sophie's 15th birthday. She's got a sweet tooth and a good heart, so I gave her a budget and told her to go wild at our local weekend farmers market. Everything was going great until I got a phone call that stopped me cold. It was Sophie, sobbing. "Mama, there's these ladies. They won't let me go." I dropped everything and ran with Emily, heart pounding like a war drum. And there, near a henny vendor's stall, was a circle of 6 elderly women, women I vaguely recognized from my ex-in-law's old church, towering over my daughter, pointing, scolding. "She's heartless," one hissed. "Turning her back on family," another snapped. "You'll answer to God for this," said a third. They were berating her for refusing to see her grandparents, for not embracing the affair children, for not acting like a good big sister. I stepped between them like a mother bear, told Emily to grab Sophie's things and head to the car. Then I turned on the church ladies with fire in my eyes. One had the nerve to say, "You should be ashamed. A good Christian wife obeys her elders." I laughed out loud. "You think my girls owe anything to people who call them bastards?" I hissed. The shouting got so heated, we were all asked to leave the market. As I walked to the car, those 6 women followed me, like judgmental crows. But all I felt was fury. That night, after putting my daughters to bed, I opened Facebook, and what I saw made my blood boil. The lies online. There it was, in the church Facebook group, written by Evelyn. A manipulative, emotionally drenched, Oscar-worthy performance in digital ink. She wrote about how we abandoned her, how we refused to take the boys in, how she and Harold were penniless and homeless. The real kicker? She claimed the affair partner was our surrogate, that I rejected the boys because they were boys, and she implied that the trauma we felt was all fake, a convenience. The post was filled with comments like, "Praying for you, God bless you, stay strong." And all I could think was, they have no idea. But I did, because I still had everything: photos, texts, emails, evidence. The divorce was never finalized, so I was free to use it all. And I was done staying quiet. The next morning, I took a day off work and headed to a print shop. I printed high-resolution, full-color evidence. My ex making out with the affair partner in our living room. Texts where he calls her his true love. Emails from Evelyn supporting the affair. Screenshots of messages where they told my daughters that the affair was their fault. One even said, "If you girls didn't tell your mother, maybe your father would still be alive." That one broke me, but it also lit the fire. I created binders. Custom. Clean. Deliberate. I made them look exactly like the church's hymn books. The cover? Plain. The first page? A full-page photo of the affair, captioned, "Ex's name and other woman's name, a holy union." I dropped them off at the church before Sunday service, right on the back table. By Monday morning, it was nuclear. The church's Facebook page exploded with comments. Apparently, someone opened the binder right before the sermon started and dropped it like it was radioactive. People were furious. The words they used to describe my ex and his mistress, let's just say they weren't Christian. Some even turned on Evelyn and Harold for the cruelty toward their daughters. But the cherry on top? The pastor had to make a public post asking members to be mindful of gossip and keep our words PG. Evelyn tried to spin it again online, but she had no ground left. She made one final post, whining about how the elderly are forgotten, how her son would have cared for her if he were alive, how we were cruel and godless. But no one bought it anymore. They left the church soon after. Justice doesn't always come from the courts. Sometimes it comes from a hymnal, or a binder, or a mother who refuses to let her daughters be bullied by hypocrites hiding behind scripture. If this story hit you in the gut like it did me, hit that like button. Tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? And if you're into real justice served cold, subscribe for more. We're just getting started. This is Luniner. Search for Luniner on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or wherever you download podcasts.